This video about the future, what we may expect in about 10 years, 8 to 10 years. So, if you didn't watch movie Matrix, I would highly recommend, because it is very influential movie and a lot of philosophy, a lot of religion, a lot of quantum physics in this movie. So it's really worthwhile to watch, because it's so much insightful. Everybody have to decide what pill to take, red pill and to stay in reality, and to take blue pill and stay in virtual reality. So what you choose, decide for yourself, real world or blue pill and virtual reality. Neo decided to go to real world, and then we will remember that actually he and other humans were encapsulated in such pod with connection to internet, to a connection to computers, and they were isolated out of real world. Real world was not fun at all. It was ugly, it was dangerous, and humans, there were humans in this real world, but they were living in some Zion city, Zion, deep underground, and so life was not easy at all. So quite many people now choose to stay in the virtual reality, in the virtual world, not to have any connection to the real world, not to take any responsibility on yourself, and just to sleep, just to dream, to have such a dream, to play games, to stay in the virtual reality. To stay in the virtual reality means you will be a slave to machines. Interesting question, why machines need humans? And quantum physics explains this. So again, I am a physicist, I'm a doctor in physics, and even if quantum physics was not my major specialty, I was working in quantum electronics mostly, but quantum physics also was at least part of my education, and I remember quite well the what it means for what quantum physics and science claims about this world. That this world exists only because of us, because of our presence, because of our attention, because we change quantum mechanical world, which is oscillations of energy, oscillations of some, so it is waves of energy, and it is nothing real, nothing what we can touch. And our presence change this world to reality. So it is like collapsing. So this universe exists simultaneously in infinite number of realization due to quantum physics, infinite number. And in this quantum mechanical world, information propagates with absolutely infinite velocity, so it is propagates from one edge of the university to another part of the university instantly. But in the real world, information propagates with limited velocity, which is velocity of light and speed of light, and then we are in the real world, we deal with particles. Of course, there are some waves, but it is waves more like electromagnetic waves, sound waves, but when quantum physics deals with other kind of waves of probability, waves of quantum universe. And remember that there is a scene in the movie Matrix when boy is telling to Neo, remember, understand that there is no spoon, everything is your mind. And quantum physics give us the same idea, there is no real world. Everything depends on you. You are changing the reality. Every moment you decide what will be the reality. And of course, interesting enough that somehow quantum physics and Christianity have very much in common. And it's okay. It can be easily explained because all the scientists who gave the idea of the creation of the universe and of the quantum mechanics were actually devoted Christians. And creation of the universe, it is actually this Big Bang theory. It's actually explain how world was created. That first were created bosons and fermions. Then next step that's light particles, electromagnetic waves were created, etc., etc. So it's actually in the Big Bang theory, all steps of the universe creation are explained from viewpoint of quantum physics, from viewpoint of modern physics. But people don't care much about this, and they cannot imagine that universe exists as vibration, as waves, and simultaneously we deal with material world, and this is also universe, and this is so two realization of the universe what we have. This is the quantum mechanical universe and real universe, and as the same as every elemental particle like electron exists as a wave and exists as a particle. So, and for simple mind, it is impossible to imagine that electron, which is electron, one electron, exists both, can reveal itself both as wave and as particles. Again, there's some relation to Christianity that God reveals us as creator of the universe and some force behind all this real world, which is keeping the universe running. And scientists call this part of the universe as black energy, black matter, not because it is dark, but because it is not evil, but because we know nothing, almost nothing about this part of the universe, but only we know that it exists, and we can evaluate that about 85% of the universe, of the energy of the universe, is this unknown to us matter and energy. And next, again, when Neo understood that he is a master, he can control universe. With your mind, you control universe. Actually, yes, this Christianity also teaches us, and Christ was teaching us. You can make miracles. You can do it. You can do it. There are conditions. There are ways to do it, and in Bible it is very easy, very well explained. And when Christians follow this technique, this teaching, then everything works. What is the tool? It is love. Love is changing everything. So first, of course, it has to be love to parents, to mommy and father. So as the same like your mother and father love you, you are supposed to love back. This is the first rule. If somebody loves you and take care of you and put your interests equal to their own interests, or maybe even above your interests, above their own interests, like your mother maybe care more about you than she cares about herself, then you are supposed to love back. If you don't do it, your life is nightmare. You will be in hell already during your life. This is the rule. And of course, if God creator loves humans because he created humans according to Christianity in his own image, so we have the same probability, the same ability to change the world. So the same as God is changing the world, and we can do the same. We are created in the image of God. We are able to we are able to do miracles. This was again Christianity teaching us. But okay, in the video, in this movie Matrix, you will find the same idea. The same idea that Neo became Superman. He started to fly. And of course, I would not recommend it to jump from roof, but again, if you know how the world is working, you can do miracles. This is for sure. Meanwhile, rich people already a long time on this planet, some number, a limited number of these very rich people decided that there are too many humans on this planet, and they made and it is kind of pleasure for them to explain what they are going to do before they will start to do it. They claimed that number of humans on this planet should be below 500 million. Now we have 8 billion. It means that they have to cut, they want to cut population almost 15 times, or maybe more, 15 times. And they do it, these rich people are doing it. So you see, Bill Gates, he has foundation for a Center for Global Human Population Reduction. They not only claim, they not only talk, they invest money, they work on population reduction. And these people, look at them, they look like a sack of trash, and they consider themselves as semi-gods. They can control the world. They can cut population 10 times, 15 times, and these people are just sick. And the same I can say about this so-called Roman Club, or this meeting of these most influential people in the world. They every year they have some meeting. They are coming and discussing the future of the civilization as they want to have it, and what they claim now, just now, and since beginning of the 2020s, they said that this COVID gives a very good opportunity to rich people to create the world government, and to put all humans, all the rest of humans, under control in slavery. And what they claim that to year 2030, the program is such that humans will have nothing, will own nothing, and will be happy. How are they going to do it? By reset of the society. So we will go in steps. This again, these people completely sick, freaks. And look at this Klaus Schwab. He is absolutely sick person. But again, it depends on you. Will you take virtual reality like what they want to do, they want you to do, and or you will stay in reality. And how they get this virtual reality? Mark Zuckerberg, he is owner of the Facebook. And he recently changed the name of his company to Meta Universe. It means his goal, exactly as in accordance with the plans of the super rich people, to put all humans into the virtual reality. So what they say is that it will be like paradise. You will be with this connection to the computer, and you will have virtual family, virtual children, virtual car, and actually you will stay like in some pod connected to computers, like in movie Matrix. But reality would be like really bad. And okay, even not a pod, even such shithole, and humans will stay in there, but with these glasses and with ability to play games and be happy, because what many children do now, they already choose for themselves to stay in virtual reality. They don't want to learn anything. They don't want to take responsibility. They want to stay in virtual reality. This is what I see at schools, and it makes me maybe unhappy, but what can I do? And if I try to explain them, only few can follow, only few can understand. The rest take it like aggressively, because I take from them something what they like. They like this gaming. They like instant awards. So they have fun in gaming. They don't want to have any responsibility to know anything about real world. They want to stay outside of the world. And this is now many more and more young children, young men, decide, stay outside of the real world, not to take any responsibility, not to have a job, but just to stay in virtual reality and like in a dream. In a dream, and be happy in this dream. The same, okay, watch movie Matrix, you remember that in movie Matrix it was like this. So the virtual reality was colorful and was full of some pleasures, and it was like maybe better than real world emotionally. But real world, okay, if you will decide about real world, eventually you can be a Superman. You can change the world. This is our. And first, you have to start this way to real world by changing your body. Okay, these two men go to fitness hall, to gym, do almost the same exercises, but it works for one man and doesn't work for another one. What is the difference? Difference is in the food. One man follows standard diet which is recommended by medical professionals, and other man is trying to take responsibility for own health, and they try to think and decide what diet he will follow. And I would only recommend to follow advice of absolute genius. It is Vince Gironda. He was a famous coach of bodybuilders, and he himself was absolutely perfect man, and Vince Gironda, and what he was recommending to eat, and he said that we are able to build our body and we are able to sharp our mind if we will do it seriously, if we will take this responsibility, if we will know what to eat. So you can use internet to discover what was his advising. Meanwhile, as I am in Thailand, what I can say, Thai people at morning, many of them, it is quite traditional Thai food. At morning they eat khao tom. Khao tom, it is rice soup. It is boiled rice with some meat, maybe a little bit. So, and it is okay if after this breakfast you go to farm and work hard in the farm. This is again this diet based on rice, on carbohydrates, is okay, absolutely okay for many people who are working physically, who are very much involved physical activity. Meanwhile, we know that Western civilization, it is not many people are connected to physical activity, and they are mostly working with in office, and because of this they already change the diet. For example, French people, what they eat for breakfast, they drink coffee with no sugar, but a lot of cream, a lot of butter. They take croissant, put a big piece of butter inside, drink coffee, sometimes orange juice, and English breakfast quite also similar. Bacon, fried sausages, fried black pudding, and the eggs, a lot of eggs, mushrooms and tomatoes, and toast. Maybe toast not so much, but again, this is healthy breakfast. I have nothing to do. When I am in England or in Paris, I eat English breakfast, I eat French breakfast, and I was 14 years in Germany, in Bayern mostly, and Bayerish, Bayern in Bavarian breakfast, it is Weisswurst. Weisswurst, it is sausages, delicious, absolutely delicious sausages with no preservatives, so you have to eat them soon after they are prepared, so you cannot store them, and and they eat butter also, and bretzel. Bretzel, it is such a bread. They cut the bretzel, put butter inside, and they eat with sausages. This is again very helpful to get this fat and to get proteins. It's very helpful for your brain. And more gets popular so-called bulletproof coffee, which is a coffee with no sugar, but with coconut powder and butter. Instead of butter, some people use some called MCT oil. MCT oil, it is some fraction of coconut oil. So you can use coconut oil. People can use coconut oil or butter if a good butter available, and to drink this bullet-proof coffee. And what I do, coffee is not very good for my stomach, so I take instead a pill of caffeine. But I drink coconut oil and coconut powder also I take for breakfast. Okay, as I said, it's up to you what to take, and you will be a human, and will you take responsibility for your life, for life of your parents, for life of other people, or you will be like a monkey, and the monkey is not thinking about, monkey does not take any responsibility, they just play games. This is what we see. Many kids already decided to stay in the virtual reality. Meanwhile, situation develops is not so nice in Sri Lanka. Now there are riots because commoners don't have food, don't have fuel, don't have job, and they are starving. They are starving. They're trying to protest. The same in Ecuador. And police trying to stop them, but again, it is riots of no help. Riots will not create food. Riots will not create food. This is just again a consequence of some what bad politicians did to the country, and so it's again a very dark future, I believe. And next year we can expect even more troubles, even more problems, especially with food in North Africa. North Africa, about 1.5 billion will probably will have not enough food because they were importing grains and cooking oil from Ukraine and Russia. Also, Russia was supplying fertilizers. Now, because of war between Russia and Ukraine, these supplies of grain stopped, and Russians don't allow Ukrainian ships and other ships to export the grain and food from Ukraine. So now many people may starve. Meanwhile, war in Ukraine, the Russians behave like, I don't know, it's like Russians are special. I'm not Russian, I'm Ukrainian, and what they do to Ukrainians, it is like sadistic pleasure to destroy cities and to kill as many peaceful citizens as they can. They do awful things. Many absolutely peaceful people were killed by Russians just because they can. There was no benefit for them to kill citizens, peaceful people. No benefits to destroy these houses, but they did it. So Russians are special in sense. So I was in Soviet Union a long time, and then also in my past, I remember that the Russians have strange pleasure to humiliate people, to fight some weak people, and then it's strange a little bit. And my native city, Chernigov, was also under bombardment, and this is just our photo of the place not so far from my house. This is a football stadium in Chernigov, and just opposite from this stadium there was a house of my grandparents, and my childhood was in this place. So you see that this stadium destroyed. There was also a museum here. The museum is destroyed. This museum was destroyed, and our houses are just opposite. And other houses were destroyed with, again, there was no military equipment, no army in the city, but Russians killed 400 peaceful citizens in the city, and okay, they tried to occupy. They now occupied a quarter of the Ukrainian territory, And they tried to go further with, and they threatened the Western country with nuclear weapon. They said that if Ukraine will not be taken by Russians, then they will use nuclear weapons against Western countries and against Eastern Europe also. Okay, meanwhile, we have this war, which is already lasting 8 years, from year 2014, but also we have another problem. Another problem is just like in the world, we have population is not growing in countries which that are industrially developed and have higher IQ level. They have low fertility rate. They have not so many children, but many children are in Africa. In Africa, like Libya and Egypt, and they have many children and more than 4 children per woman, more than 4 children. But these people cannot produce food, and what they are doing, they migrate to Europe, to Western Europe, and now as 1.5 billion are in North Africa and Middle East are maybe will starving. They will experts evaluate that probably 200 million refugees, so-called refugees, will come to Western Europe. 200. It is it is compatible with all European population. And what else? Again, in average in the world, number of elderly people is growing. And elderly people, these people are supposed to stay at home. They already cannot be as productive as in younger age. And who will take care of these old people? This is again not clear. More than 10% already, more than 10%, more than 13% of population in the world already above age of 60. Another problem that if we measure size of the brain of Neanderthals and how they develop, and then the size of the brain was growing, and but Neanderthals here, yes, we see that, but Cro-Magnons were actually for a while were used to have larger volume size and most probably higher intellectual abilities than for now. Now we go down again, where every generation is more stupid than parents, and we destroying civilization. And what IQ is dropping, and the lowest IQ is in Africa, and if IQ below 85, such people cannot find job in present industry. So they cannot work, they cannot do any duties. And you see that most of population of Africa is about 80, IQ 80 and below, and these people cannot work, only they can do some simple duties, but not in the modern society. So it means that all these modern technologies, like to produce energy with nuclear power, and they will be not in use, because humans with low IQ cannot afford using these thorium reactors and other nuclear reactors, which are safe, but they need very high intellectual stuff. Meanwhile, the world is following advice of this autistic lady, Greta Thunberg, who was paid by Russians, by the way. And this girl is autistic girl. She tells that we will all die because we are burning too much oil, we are burning too much coal. We have to stop it. We have to be carbon neutral. We have to stop eating meat. And again, it was paid by Russians. So meanwhile, all these nuclear power plants were closed. In Germany, they stopped the working, and instead they were buying Russian gas and Russians and these activists, climate activists. So it's like mutants, absolutely new generation of mutants with very low IQ. What they demand? They demand to destroy the Western society. They demand to destroy the modern technologies, and they demand to go to this solar energy. They say, okay, we will get energy from sun, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So it is against. It is just the solar panels. They can be destroyed, and there is no profit in the use of solar panels. In some cases, they can be used. They can be used in some distant facilities, but not in industrial scale. And you see that it just doesn't work. This technology doesn't work. And next, again, in Germany, German government, they made these windmills, and they said, okay, we will produce energy from windmills. What is happening? Climate is changing because windmills, they work on wind, and they stop the wind. They stop circulation of air. The warm and air with moisture is not coming from Atlantic Ocean, or coming in less amount. Climate is changing, and amount of food which can be produced is dropping. And what they're doing really, they're killing a lot of birds and insects. Eventually they are destroyed. They cannot work for too long, and so it is disaster. It is disaster what is happening. Meanwhile, quite opposite from this forecast of global warming, we have climate change, which is most probably cooling. And if we check all the history of the world, and last maybe 20 years, then we see that mostly climate was very cold on this planet. Only sometimes climate average temperature at the planet was good enough to grow food, and now we have in such time, which is not bad. It is a warm period, more than one period, but before there was a little ice age, not long ago, only 600 years ago. And if we, it is with larger magnification, we are here, and there was this Maunder minimum 600 years or 500 years ago. But now we can expect global cooling with maximum of the cooling in 100 years. 100 years there will be like ice age. And now so we expect cooling, and it started already. And we know from news that recently in India, Pakistan, and in Afghanistan there was snow in June. In June there was heavy snow. So it's cooling is coming ahead. So the idea to burn less oil and gas is stupid, and especially the idea to stop production with nuclear power stations. This is complete insanity. Meanwhile, instability of the climate brings more rain, and also because our sun is in minimum activity, and if our sun is minimum activity, we are getting more space rays from center of galaxy, high energy particles, elementary particles are coming, and they are coming to atmosphere of our planet, mostly to northern hemisphere, and they create condensation, they create clouds, and then we have more rain in northern hemisphere. And in China right now a lot of flooding, and other countries also, in America a lot of the rain is coming. And what we are going to have next year, and already started in some countries now, not enough food. So Okay, some people can eat insects, but I doubt that everybody will be happy with this. And or synthetic food. Synthetic food is like produced from, bacteria and some cellulose, maybe some cheap replacement of good healthy food. But of course, it is for if people decide to stay in virtual reality and live not so long, okay, they can maybe eat whatever they want. But if they want to be in real world, take responsibility for own health, for own body, and for parents and friends and society, then they have to understand what to eat. And then this artificial food is not for them, absolutely not for them. Okay, this is what we have for now, and children have to decide what they will take. As I said, it's not that, oh, if I give this warning, if I see it quite easy. And I have been told by my professors already 40 years ago, they were teaching us about cycles of the civilization development. And I was expecting in 2014, the start of some big troubles. And indeed, it was the war between Ukraine and Russia in 2014. So Russia took Crimea, and they took also some areas of eastern Ukraine. And now it is again it is coming to very hot development. And in Germany, I was in Germany that time, and then 2014 was time when millions of so-called refugees came from North Africa and Middle East. These were not women and children, like for now we have a war between Russia and Ukraine, and then we have refugees from Ukraine, and these are Ukrainian women with children. They go to Poland, they go to Germany also to stay for a while. They don't want to stay for long. They want to just wait before it will be not dangerous to come back. But North Africans and these Arabs and from Middle East, they are coming. These are young men in age of from 16 to 30. These young men, they are not refugees. They are invaders. They are coming to take Europe under own control. They consider it as kind of conquista. So they consider it as attempt to make Christian Europe, to turn Christian Europe into part of the Muslim civilization. Okay, then whatever they have in mind, we are in the beginning of this trouble time, and as cycles, we live in cycles. Cycles are about 100 years, and what there was 100 years ago, there was First World War, and there was a Spanish flu, and there was civil wars, and there was a lot of famine, and then it came to Second World War, and a great number of millions of people perished in this time. So I expect that again, and I see that we are in very bad times, and we have a cycle. And but if to consider that climate cycles, and also this 500 cycle of the civilization, there is 100 years cycle and 500 years cycle, and we probably coming to so-called dark age when will be a long time technology will drop, and long time population will drop very much. And again, if these rich people have plans to reduce population, it means that many technology will be lost. The same like after the fall of the ancient Rome, or next time it was Byzantine, that's eastern part of Roman Empire fall in about 1,000 years ago. And then there was this cycles of that civilization cannot stay for long. And Western civilization exists about such times that about 1,000 years, and we have this 500 and 1,000 years cycles, and we probably coming to the end of Western civilization, and we have this dark age ahead. So again, if I try to explain children that they have to be prepared for hard times, they have to build body and sharpen brain. So not everybody are happy, because I just try to take them from virtual reality, from this gaming, and they are not happy at all. Okay, so that's all what I was trying to tell about heavy times, hard times ahead. So please mind to be prepared.